I'm Jeremy Axman.
And I'm Kathy Newwoman.
And my name's Humidity. When can we take back control of our laws?
We don't have the euro, we're not in the Schengen area, we drive for miles on the left, have our own parliament that can make our laws. Hugh, was it ever explained to you how many so-called unelected bureaucrats there are making the EU laws?
No, but there must be hundreds of them.
Tell him, Nigel, is it thousands? Hundreds? How many?
Well, these are the 28 unelected members of the European Commission.
One appointed by each head of state.
Our commissioner was not elected by the British public and therefore is undemocratic.
But they can only propose laws, not implement them. That is done by the elected MEPs, 73 being British.
What if Great Britain doesn't like the proposed new law?
Well, any proposed law can be vetoed by any of the 28 countries. That's why Turkey would never have been allowed to join, as Leave pretended, because we and many other countries would veto it.
Remember, our Prime Minister is not elected by public vote, but by the MPs. And the Cabinet are not elected by public vote, but are appointed by the Prime Minister.
Do you think we should have a referendum every time there is a cabinet reshuffle?
Yes, the public should vote on who's in the cabinet. We know more than the MPs. If it was left to the MPs, 75% would have voted to remain. Which proves that they're not as clever as the general public.
Seeing that a YouGov poll found that 23% of Sun readers think it is a left-wing newspaper, I wouldn't be too sure of that. Heidi High, a German lorry driver from Stuttgart, on the line. You British comedians, Herr Farage, you are my favourite. My brother Klaus thinks that Mogg is the funniest. When he was young, he dropped his monocle in a trifle. So funny. But Boris has been voted Dummkopf of the decade. When he got stuck on the zip wire, I nearly wet myself.
Well, we'll create a hostile environment for you Europeans. We don't want you, we don't need you, and you can get stuffed.
Joe Cox was murdered on the day the newspapers showed your advert, and hate crimes increased by 39% after your victory. Is that just collateral damage to you?
I've always found that Liberals and Remoaners are more disagreeable than my followers.
Jacob Rees-Mogg on the line.
Well, we can walk away, just as John Redwood says, and utilise World Trade Organization rules.
That will be expensive. The EU already have 68 free trade deals, fully or partially in place. We're too small to get good deals. Manufacturing, car plants and farming are surely in danger.
Not if we go to WTO rules.
Under WTO rules, we have to put a hard border in Ireland.
Let's not focus on that. The main point is that we'll be able to have blue passports. I mean, how wonderful is that?
As it stands today, if we can't cherry pick, surely there can be no soft Brexit.
That's right. The UK and the EU have a red line on free movement.
A hard Brexit ruins our car, aerospace and manufacturing industries, as they will be buried under a mountain of tariffs and red tape and border controls.
The Canadian-style free trade agreement would suit us perfectly.
The City of London would be ruined without passport rights to freely trade with Europe. The banks, insurance and other service sectors, which make up 80% of our trade, will go to Frankfurt, Paris and Madrid.
We can trade with the whole world. My company, Somerset Capital, will be investing £9.6 billion in emerging markets.
This company is registered in the Cayman Islands, which means nurses, policemen, firemen, factory workers and shop assistants will pay your taxes for you.
Well, the chairman of the Conservative Party, Lord Fink, has urged the Chancellor to make the UK a tax haven so that we don't have to go all the way to the Cayman Islands to avoid paying taxes.
Well, that's the most rubbish idea in the world. Another bombshell? Good night!